What's going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to go through Overwatch 2 and do a complete review on Season 1. There is a lot to cover here, but before we jump into this video, why don't you guys do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when I post more videos like this. But alright, let's jump in and let's talk about the pros, the cons, and the middle. We're going to start with the cons because I feel like there is more bad than good to talk about, unfortunately, and we really need to touch on the shop. Even though it's been talked about before in many videos, it really is the prime con of Overwatch 2. The shop holds all that negative stuff in there, and we really need to unravel it and see what the shop could become for the future. Or if it's possibly just going to stay the same. We don't know yet, but really the big problem here, it's very simple: good quality content, too expensive. It's really, that is exactly what it is. If the content was priced fairly enough, it rotates frequently, it's good enough for the consumer, but right now it's just too expensive. So they either need to reduce their prices or make something different. I highly doubt that they're going to make something completely different than from what they already have set up in the shop. Maybe they add something in PvE, that might be our saving grace, but I'm not so sure that they're even going to do anything at all. They could really sit back and not change their monetization. I'm sure that enough people have bought stuff from the store that they have the numbers that they need or were looking for, and they're evaluating and changing things up based upon that. So as long as that stays the same, then it's just the way things are going to be. So we can be encouraged not to buy things from the shop, you know, which is, it's a personal opinion and it's a hard one because we can't stop everyone or get everyone to do one specific thing, nor should we. It shouldn't be like that, right? So they need to take it upon themselves and really focus on the shop, because if they tweak the shop, if they fix the shop, it is going to be a huge percentage of value going forward towards Overwatch 2. They need that win, honestly. They need to change. If they make the shop so that we get good value and they can still make money and we both win, it's going to skyrocket the game in a direction. A very good direction, not one that completely makes up for everything and not one that fixes everything, but going forward, it needs it. Overwatch 2 needs that change to the shop. So I'm really looking forward to them doing something about this, but we'll just have to wait and see because they might not do anything. Alright, so we're going to take a step away from the shop and we're going to go on to the next con, which would be the game does not update fast enough. It really doesn't. The fact that it is 11/11, more than a month after Overwatch 2 has released, and we still can't play specific heroes because they've been removed from the game is absolutely ridiculous. And this isn't the only thing, it's just frequent updates in general concerning characters, meaning buffs and nerfs and anything like that. It's just not happening fast enough. It's something that can be fixed, and it is an easy fix. It just needs to happen. So I'm hoping that there was just a lot on the developers' plates during this first month of launch, or just Season 1 in general, and things might smooth out later down the line. You know, I really think that's a big possibility. I think that we will get faster updates. Things just need to settle down right now. It's still too early in the beginning to tell what the speed of the development team and updates in general are going to look like over the next couple of years. And that's pretty much it for that. Like I said, it's an easy fix. It just needs to change. Now that we're talking about the overall launch of Overwatch, that is the next con, and that will only fall into Season 1 because the launch won't be in Season 2, obviously, but it really did have a huge impact on the community and Overwatch 2 as a whole. That was their first impression for us, and it just wasn't a good one. I know they got DDoSed, I know they got attacked, but still, it's a little ridiculous that the game is still having problems, and they've had this much time to work on it. A game that has been delayed this much should not have issues like this one did on launch, and it's just a big issue, but really it's in the past because there's nothing that they can do about it now. They blew it. It's done and over with. It wasn't a complete train wreck. I've seen a lot of other launches that are even worse than this, but this is still a big thing, and it needs to go into the con section for Season 1 because it had such a huge impact. But alright, let's move on to the final con, which is progression. Progression in general is just not very fun. Once you complete the battle pass, that's pretty much it. There just needs to be more for you to grind in general. Really, I thought at first that only 80 levels in the battle pass, it was going to be too much. I thought that it was going to be too much, but the more that I think about it, they could have 120. They could have 100. Anything more than 80 levels would be really beneficial for a couple reasons. If they don't change anything when it comes to progression on the PvP side, if they just updated the battle pass, gave us more for our $10, it would prolong the feeling that we're not grinding for anything because we'll continue to get rewards longer, and it will give us more value out of the battle pass in general, which might take away some of the pressure from the shop. But really, the big point is when you're done with the battle pass, you're pretty much done with all progression, and there's really no point to play the game after that, besides the experience that you get from playing the game. That is the only thing that is there holding you to play Overwatch 2. There's no other type of system in place besides spending your own money in the shop to get any type of rewards. And yes, after the battle pass is completed at level 80, you can still work through different levels and get titles, but it's just not enough. Titles are fine, but they needed to be an added thing on top of more progression type items. And really, for me, that's pretty much all of the cons summed up into one big explanation on what I'm not happy with when it comes to Overwatch 2, and I know it's the same for a lot of you. So we're going to push that to the side, and we're going to go ahead and jump in the pros. Let's talk about the things that we do like and the things that are really working and going for Overwatch 2. And number one for the pros would be the gameplay. The gameplay of 5v5 is a super fresh take to Overwatch, and it's really fun. I know a lot of you like it. I haven't heard many people that dislike it. Honestly, even the people that don't really like Overwatch in general really like the 5v5 change, so I think it's a win for them. And yes, things aren't perfectly balanced right now, but it will even out and things will become better in the future, specifically gameplay wise. And the next two pros in general really fall in line with the gameplay aspect as well, which is cross progression and the fact that you have cross play. Those two things are fantastic, specifically cross progression. The fact that I can go from my PC to my Nintendo Switch or a different console and play with friends that can only play on console or only play on PC and still have all of my skins and all of my items is fantastic, and it was a much needed switch that really was supposed to be in Overwatch 1. They needed it in Overwatch 1, but you know, better late than never, and we finally got that in Overwatch 2. And of course we had the opposite of what I thought we needed, which, you know, like I said, was cross progression. We had cross play in Overwatch 1, which carried over to Overwatch 2, but it is still a fantastic thing. The fact that we can play on PC with Nintendo Switch players is a big win for the gaming community in general, because a lot of games need to do this, and it's really nice that Overwatch 2 does do this as well. Okay, now let's move on to the next pro, which is constant content. It is fantastic that we are going to be getting a consistent stream of content, whether it be in the shop or in the battle pass. The fact that we are going to have seasons, get heroes, get maps, get new game modes, get new skins, new items, and we know about it. We know when it's going to happen, which is really fantastic. That is a big change from the past when it comes to Overwatch 1, and it's really exciting to get because we can follow along with updates and time frames and just plan out everything that we want to do because we know the schedule of Overwatch. It's really good for content creators, and it's really good for players because they have something to look forward to in the future. As well as most of the content has been fairly good. There has been some lackluster stuff, but overall, all the new skins that we got in the shop and in the battle pass are really, really good. They're pretty awesome, to be honest, and I think they are a step above some of the skins that we would usually get in Overwatch 1. And also, as of time of recording, there are still some skins that haven't been released for Season 1 that have been teased in trailers and whatnot, so there's that to look forward to as well. And now, let's move on to the last pro, which I really think is probably one of the best things that is happening for Overwatch 2. It doesn't seem like it's a big deal right now, but I really think later on throughout the months and years that we play Overwatch 2, it'll become a really awesome thing, which is the Mythic skins. And of course you could pair that up with gameplay or progression or even consistent content, but I really feel like it is something that we should set aside and talk about separately because it's fantastic. What these Mythic skins do to change characters with the sounds and the effects and the different aspects that go on top of a hero with the Mythic skin are fantastic. And once we have a collection of these, not just one in the first battle pass, it will be awesome to see a collection of our favorite heroes all have Mythic skins and all of them have special abilities and things that they do. It will take a while, but eventually it'll be a really cool collection to have, and it falls in line with the $10 battle pass, which means that it is a fair deal and all of us can get it together. So I'm really thinking that whoever came up with these Mythic skin ideas, it should really be rewarded, because it is a fantastic thing that they're doing in Overwatch 2, and they need to make more than one a season. I think that's the only thing. I think people would pay. If you're going to put something in the shop for $20, put a Mythic skin in there. Why not? Like, if you have the ability to make it and it's a part of the game now, stop selling us, take everything one step down, right? So we could have legendary skins at $10. That's fine. I'm not going to complain. Anything that's better than 20. And then add a Mythic skin in the game that's only in the shop for 20 bucks. I'm fine with that. If they want to make money that way, that would be the best course of action now that I think about it. So maybe Mythic skins in general could really help out the con side and the pro side at the same time. Like usual, we're just going to have to wait and see, but I do think the possibility of them selling a Mythic skin in the shop is fairly high. Now, selling the Mythic skin at a fair price is not so high. Okay, but now let's talk about the middle ground between the pros and the cons, and there's really only two things in here, maybe just one big one, and that is the fact that you need a phone number to have an account and play Overwatch, which is a big issue for a lot of people, but it also provides a big bonus to the people that do have a phone and can get into Overwatch, which means less spammy people, less people that are going to ruin the game, and just less Smurf accounts in general. In the end, I really see both sides of the coin here, and they did try and do some mitigation, making it so that accounts made in the past don't need a phone number to continue to play, which is a big benefit that they went ahead and tried to mitigate some of the damage that having a phone number to play the game brings to the table. And really guys, that pretty much wraps it up. There's really only one other thing that could be in the middle ground between the pros and the cons, and that's PvE. It still needs to be talked about because it is coming, and I think it is going to be a good thing, but I think it's a bad thing that it's not here, so PvE is kind of stuck in the middle for me right now until we get more information. But on a larger scale, where we round all of the pros, all of the cons, and anything in the middle up in a big pot, for Season 1 of Overwatch 2, for me, it gets a C+. There's a lot of room for improvement, but the game is still really fun, and I'm really enjoying myself. So whatever we get in the future, just know that I'll be here to cover it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'd like to know what you guys think. So put your comments down below on where Overwatch ranks for you. But alright everyone, that's it for this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Flash out.